Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today in Microsoft Excel tutorial for beginners part 2, we are going to understand the workbook, the worksheets, and navigate the key areas of the interface. Now, we are going to look at knowing how to use your clipboard group effectively, like paste, cut, copy, and format painter. We are going to learn how to use the font group, the bold, italicize, underline, fill color, and font color. How to draw border grid manually and automatically. Understanding the number group, currency formatting, separator, and the percentage. 6. How to use conditional formatting under the styles group. How to use clear all, clear content, sort, filter, fill under editing group. How to screenshot your current screen. How to use Textbox, understanding the formulas or dicting group. The focus will be show formulas, then zoom group, and then the window group. The focus will be how to use freeze panes, the top row and the column. If you are ready to master the basics, let's dive straight in. Now, when we talk about workbook in Microsoft Excel, I want you to think about a notebook that has sheets. Okay, now if you want to open a new workbook in Microsoft Excel, now the first thing you will need to do is, for instance, this is a workbook. I've already opened this workbook. Now, if you want to open it afresh, you will need to click your Excel software. Then you will now locate blank workbook, and then you will now click. Then it will now open a new workbook. Now, the second way is this. If you already have your workbook opened and you want to open a new workbook, you will just go to your file, then you will locate your blank workbook. So this is what you will do when you want to open it for the first time. Your software, then blank workbook. But if you already have Excel file, you just click the file you want to open. So in my own case, I will just click the blank workbook and open. Now this is a blank workbook. So inside the workbook we have worksheets. Now this is sheet 1, so you can click this plus. Sheet 2, sheet 3, sheet 4, sheet 5, sheet 6. So depending on what you want, the number of sheets that you want to use for your work. Now, so I have opened 6 sheets now inside a single workbook. Now, if you look at my screen, you will see a green rectangle. Now it means I'm selecting a cell, and this is cell A1. If you look at here, you will see A1. This is cell A1. This is cell B1, C1, D1, E1, F1, G1. Good. Now this is my cell. Now if you look at this particular A, it means column A, column B, column C, column D, column E, column F, column G. Then we also have row. This is row 1, row 2, row 3, row 4, and then row 5. Now, if you want to know the number of rows we have in Excel, you just click your A1, press your Control, then your downward arrow. It will take you to the last row in Excel. Can you see that? This is our last row. This. To go up, the same thing. Long press your Control, then your upward arrow. It will go up. Now, if you want to see the last column that we have inside this particular workbook, you just need to press your Control, then your forward arrow. It will take you there. To go back, Control, then the backward arrow. It will take you back to A1. Now, in Microsoft Excel, when you want to start a function, it starts with equal sign. It starts with equal sign. So when you press your equal sign, it means the cell is already active. Do you see a change on the interface? Yeah, it means this cell is already active. So Excel is expecting you to write a function. So if you write a function, if you write any wrong thing, you might just press enter. Can you see? I just put the wrong thing, then it brought this. So whenever you want to write a function in Excel, you start with equal sign. For instance, this is my equal sign. So Microsoft Excel is expecting me to write a function. So which means that, let's say I want to use if function, I will just press equal to if. This is my if function. I will double click, then I will write my logical test. So in Excel, there is something called the function library. Function library simply means where you will see all the functions that you want to use in Excel. So the function you want to use in Excel, you will see it under function library. Like we have financial, we have logical, we have test, date and time, lookup preference, math and trig, then more function. So this is our function library in Excel. So when you want to use any function, it is possible that any of the function might be inside any of these. So this is our function library. For the logical, if you press the drop down, you will see that the if I used the other time is under the logical. So we have if error, we have ifs, not, or, switch, true, so and so on and so forth. So we also have the test, the date and time, the lookup preference. Under lookup preference, you will see the choose, you see column, you see index, you see match, you see lookup, you see h lookup, you see filter. Good. So in Excel, when you want to write any function, you start with what? Equal sign. When you want to use any function. Now let's look at the sheet again. Now the worksheet, this sheet 1, worksheet 1, worksheet 2, worksheet 3, 4, 5 and 6. If you right click your worksheet, you see that you can delete your worksheet. Let me delete this. We have left with 2. So if I right click again, you can rename this sheet. For instance, I can put Excel here. Enter. So I can also right click again and give it a tab color, give it yellow or red. Just give it red, and if you this red, right? You can also right click again to protect your sheet. Now if you protect your sheet, you can just use a password like 1234 and then you just close. For instance, let's I put 1234, then I press OK. 1234, confirming the password, press OK. So I've already logged this particular sheet. So if I try to open and try to press something, it won't open because I've already logged the sheet. So to open it, I will need to right click and unprotect my sheet and put 1234, press my OK, and then the sheet is active. So if you right click again, you can also hide your sheet. You can click hide. Now you can have access to the sheet again. If you want to see it, you right click, then you press on hide Excel, my sheet, then I press OK. So my sheet will be back. So now if you want to open a new worksheet, I said you will press this plus sign, right? So now I have sheet 6. Now if I want to press open, okay, I have sheet 7. Do you know why I have sheet 7 here? Because my Excel, when I open the new sheet, I have already opened my sheet 1. So the sheet was actually opened. So immediately I press plus, Excel brought the sheet 7 here because Excel thought maybe what I was planning to do is to have the sheet in front of the sheet 1. So which means that if you want the number to continue like sheet 7, sheet 8, what you will need to do is to ensure that you press the first sheet. You press the number before the sheet you want to open. So I'll press my sheet 6, then I'll press then this sheet 8. So Excel will now continue to number it that way. But if you open another sheet, if you try to open a new sheet not in front of the first sheet, not in front of the first sheet that not in front of the first sheet that has the not in front of the sheet that is behind the plus sign, then you will not have the number in front of that sheet. I hope you got my explanation. So now it means here that now I have sheet 7, I have sheet 3, I have sheet 4, I have sheet 5. Like if I want to have sheet 9, I will just press, then I will have my sheet 9. If I want to have sheet 10, the logical thing to do is to press again, then I have sheet 10. Because to have sheet 10 in front of sheet 9, this sheet must be active. That was what I was explaining the other time. But if you want your sheet 10, if you mistakenly press your sheet 6, open your sheet 6, and you click this sign, you will have your sheet 10 in front of sheet 6. And that was what I was communicating the other time. So now these numbers, these sheets are not well arranged. Now let's say we want it to be arranged, like we want it to be arranged accordingly. Now what we can just do is to rearrange it. How do we do this? Now first and foremost, if you want to have 2 copies of a sheet, you will need to press your control and then your left key, then you will have 2 copies. For instance, if I want to have another copy of sheet 3, what I will just do is I want to have it in front of sheet 3. Then I've already pressed open my sheet 3. I will just press control, left key, and then move. Then I will have a new copy of my sheet 3. So it means these 2 means that it copied from sheet 3. If I want to have another copy of sheet 4, what I will just do is press my control, my left key and then move. Then it will have sheet 4 copied from this particular sheet, right? But we don't actually, that's how to have 2 copies of sheets. Now I want to delete this because I don't want it. Don't forget, you just delete. Again, right click, then you also delete. Now I want to arrange it this way such that I will have them in ascending order. So not this one, not like this. So what I will just do is, what I have 3, I have 4. So I want to move 3 in front of sheet. I want to move this sheet 1, I know. Then I want to move sheet 3 in front of sheet 7. Right, I want to move sheet 3 in front of sheet 7. So what I will just do is I will open my sheet 3. Then instead of shift, instead of control, this time you press shift, then your left key, then you will now move, you will drop. So you have your sheet 3 here. You have your sheet 3 here. Then for sheet 4, I will do the same thing. You will open the sheet, then your shift again, then your left key, and then you will now move. Then you now have your sheet 4. For sheet 5, you will open your shift, your left key, then you will now move sheet 5. So I have my sheet 6, the same thing, shift left, then move. Again, shift, then move. So I have my sheet 6. So 4, 5, 6, 7. Then I have 8. To move 8, the same thing, shift left, then I will now move, drop it here. So I have sheet 8, sheet 10. For 9, the same thing, then I will now move. So, and I have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So you can now name your sheet if you want to. Good. Now let's move. Now if you look at here, we have the formula bar. So formula bar simply means that if I write a formula here equals to, if you will also see the formula here. You can also decide to write the formula right inside your formula bar. You will still see the same thing inside the particular cell. Now you can also expand your formula bar. You can click this arrow to expand your formula bar, and you can also reduce it. So that's our formula bar. And then we also have the so now I will want us to move to the next thing we are having for today. But before I move there, I would like to show you something here. Now if you look at this particular place, if you click this particular arrow, ribbon display option, this is always show ribbon. You can also put it show tabs only, full screen mode. Like for instance, if you click always show tabs only, if you click show tabs only, you will only have access to your tab alone. You won't see the groups. So for you to see your group, you just need to click the home tab, and then you can then see your group. Then you can click always show ribbon, So now we also have this particular the show below the ribbon quick access to bar. So if I click show below the ribbon, see what's going to happen. I will have them here. But if I don't want it that way, I will need to click. If I don't want it that way, I will just come back here, and then, or better still, let's say I don't want to have it there, I can just come down here and just say show above the ribbon, so it will come up. Okay, that one I pressed another thing entirely, sorry about that. So now the next thing we want to look at is the second thing we have for today, and that will be, let's go back to the Excel tutorial. We've looked at the workbook and your worksheet. Now there is something I need to show you before we move again. Now let me go back there. Now let's say that you want to delete a column. How can we go about that? Now to delete a column, let's say I want to get rid of this column. What you just need to do is to click, right click, then press delete. Then you will successfully delete your column. Now if you want to, let's say you want to add a new row. To add a new row, you just need to click, then you just click insert, a new row popped up. If you want to delete a column, if you want to add a new column to your workers, you want to add a new column in front of worker's name. So what you will just need to do is to click your rank, right click, then insert, then you have your new column in front of your worker's name. So you can just try and just play around, you can just try and play around it, then you will be able to know how to navigate it very well. You can also delete your row. Okay, so now we can now move to the next thing we have for today. Now the second thing is knowing how to use your clipboard group effectively. Paste, cut, copy, and then format painter. Now we've successfully carried out the first one, the workbook and your worksheet. So I will just come here and click done. So the second one is knowing how to use your clipboard group effectively. Paste, cut, copy, and format painter. So we have the clipboard sheet here already. So we want to look at paste, cut, then copy. Now let's see how we can copy. Now if you want to copy, for instance, if I want to copy this particular sheet, this particular table, what I will just need to do is to highlight and then look for use my Ctrl C, copy. Then I can then paste. Let's say I want to paste it here. I will just use my Ctrl V to paste, or you use paste itself. So, or you use paste itself. So when you use your paste, you just paste. You select where you want to paste, then you click your paste, and then you paste, right? So I've successfully pasted I've successfully pasted my table, right? So now I've successfully pasted my table. Now you will notice that we have 2 copies of this table, 2 copies. Now let's say I want to cut. What will happen if I want to cut? Now to cut, it means that I will try to execute it again. Now I want to cut. Now to cut, what you will just need to do is to highlight, select where you want to paste, highlight, then Ctrl X, which is this, then select where you want to paste. then press your Ctrl V. That is the shortcut of paste. Ctrl V, then I'll paste. Now, do you notice something? Look at the difference. When I copied, I have 2 copies. Now, when I use Ctrl X, when I cut, I have just a single copy. Can you see the difference? So when it comes to cut and copy, when you use cut, you will have a single table. When you use copy, you will have 2 copies. You will still be seeing that table you copied from. Okay, so now another thing is format painter. Okay, for us to use format painter, now let's say that we want to, I will try to cut this again and paste it here again. Ctrl V. Now let's say I want to use format painter to format all the mathematics we are having inside this particular table. What I will just need to do is to click my mathematics, format the first, then go to my format painter, double tap, and then format, and then format. Done. I will just double tap, and that's it. So we now have the mathematics row formatted: row 2, row 7, row 8, row 10, row 11, row 12, then row 13. So if you want to clear what you have done, it's very simple. You just need to click a particular cell that you have not formatted. So we can just go to our format painter again, double tap, and then clear, and clear. Since I'm done, just double tap and it remains this again, format painter, then clear. What's happening? Double tap, and then we clear, so we double tap again. So we've been able to use format painter to format, and then we're able to clear what we have just done. So we can go back to our Excel tutorial, the sheet, and just click done. So we move to the next, understanding the font group. Don't forget, the one we just did was the clipboard group. Now we have the font group. Now we want to look at bold, italicize, underline, fill color, and font color. So we have our font group sheet here. So the first thing we need to do is to clean this sheet by just expanding the column width. So to do that, you just highlight, then you just double tap to expand. Double tap to expand. So I've done that. So you just highlight, then you put your cursor like this, and then you just double tap, then it will, then the column will expand. So now let's look at the question. Let's look at what we want to do. Sorry, bold, italicize, underline. So to the front group, we want to bold. So to bold, what we just need to do is to click highlight, right? And then you click your bold. To italicize, you again the same, then italicize. Can you see a change? Then to underline, you just click your underline. You get that? So also other one is fill color and font color. So I will go back again to my font group to use my fill color. So this is my fill color. I want to color the background. Can just use my fill. Good. Then if I want to color the text, so I will just come here, the font color, then I will just use this. Good. I hope you got this. So we've carried that out. We've just carried this out. So we'll go to Excel tutorial and we just mark it as done. That's number 3. Then 4, how to draw border grid manually and automatically. So stay under the font group. So we are still going to use the same sheet. So how to draw our border grid. So to draw your border grid, what you just need to do is to locate your table first, and this is my table. So what I will just do is you will just click this drop down, then you look for your draw border. You click your draw border and then you start drawing. You long press your left key and you draw. You long press, you draw, 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 then you draw, you draw, then you draw, and then you draw. So then since I'm done, I will just click. I will just click no border. So done with this, right? So now if you want to use eraser, is it possible to erase what you have done? Yes. You click the drop down, then you pick the erase border. So you can erase what you have done. You long press your left key and then you click cleaning. Good. Since I'm done, I'll just click no border. So now the next thing is this. Let's say that you now have a table that contains large figures. You know, it will take your time doing it that way. So the only thing, there is a way you can do it within 3 seconds or 5 seconds. You are done. What you just need to do is to highlight the table like this. So we are using this table. Then click the drop down, click all borders. So you are done. So again, do the same thing here, all border. We are done. Can you see? So this is how to make use of this. So go back to the Excel tutorial and mark it as done. So number 5, understanding the number group, currency formatting, separator, and the percentage. So we move to the number group, looking at the currency formatting, separator, and the percentage. So we want to format the currency using the $sign. So let's say this is the column we want to format. We can just highlight and click your $sign, right? So we have $200, and you can also reduce it, reduce the decimal. So if you want to use another symbol, another currency, just come to your more number format, and then you click your currency. So then you click the symbol, and then you will see you see symbols here. So you select the one you want to use, and then you click. Okay, so that is how to go about that. So for the percentage, I want to convert this to percentage. Instead of having 0.3, I can just use my percentage, just click, then I will have it as, instead of having 0.3, I just have 30%, 50%, 10%. And then if I also want to use separator for the salary, so imagine you are having large figures, and it's difficult for you to be able to know the particular amount. So we can use separator for this. You will just highlight, then click your separator. So now you can now know that, oh, this is $1,375 or naira, 1,005, 1,006, 2,000, 1,002, 1,001, 1,004, 1,009. So we've successfully done this. So go back to our Excel tutorial and click done. So this is 5 done. So we move to 6, how to use conditional formatting under styles group. So we are coming to this place, this styles group. So we've looked at clipboard group, font group, we've looked at number group. Now we are here, styles group. So what we are going to do now is we are going to move to a number conditional formatting. So we have this. Let's look at it under conditional formatting. Use conditional formatting to format scorecard above 50. Only scorecard above 50 will get a loan. So we want to format the scorecard above 50. So above 50 will be what? Like 51, 52, 53. Good. So we can use conditional formatting to do this instead of doing it more like this. Very simple. So what you just need to do is to highlight your column, and then you go to your conditional formatting, you click the drop down arrow, then you go to highlight cells rule, then go to greater than, you click. So greater than what? Scorecard above 50. So we have above, greater than 50. So we can change the color to red text. You can use red text, and then we can press OK. So if you look at it now, above 50 will be 70, 80, 79, 80, 89, 90, then 85. So instead of doing this manually, you can just use conditional formatting, and we know that these are the people that we get a loan. right? So now we'll go back to our Excel tutorial and we click done. So now we move to 7, right? We are moving to, oh sorry, it ought to be 6. So now we move to 7. How to use clear all, clear content, sort, filter, fill under editing group. So we are coming to editing group this time. So we want to look at how to clear all, clear contact, clear all, clear contact, sort and filter. So let's look at the sheet, editing group. So we want to look at how we can use clear all, clear content. So now to clear all, you will first need to select like this, right? And then you will now move to your editing group. So here you will just click here. Then when you see clear all, just click your clear all. What do you notice? You won't see the data again. You won't see the data again. Now, Control Z. What about clear formatting? So, sorry, clear format. So, clear format, we simply remove what we have formatted. So, I will just click clear formatted. What do you see? We don't have, it has removed all what we have formatted. So for clear all, it will clear all your data. Left, you will only be left with the table. Clear formats, when you say clear all, it will remove everything. It will remove everything. Clear formats will clear your formats. Then clear content. Clear content. So let me autofill again. Let me try to Control Z and let's look at clear content. For clear content will remove everything. Remove everything. We remove everything, all the content inside the table. For clear format, it will just remove what we formatted. For clear all, for clear all, we get rid of the table. You won't see the table again. You won't see the table again. So we've successfully looked at clear all, clear format, and clear contents. So now let's look at sort and filter. So let's say I want to filter my table. How will I go about that? Very simple. What I just need to do is to click, then go to my data, then click my filter button. So now I have my filter button. So turned on. So I can filter from A to Z. This is it, from A to Z, and then from Z to A. So depending on what I want to see, depending on the insights I'm looking for. So we've already done this in the last video on the one I posted on beginners, except for beginners. So part 1. So you can just check it and see how I used my sort and filter to filter my table. So you can just check the video, it's inside there. So now I'm done. I want to just get rid of what I have just done here, just clear. I'll just click clear, and then I want to remove the filter button, so I will remove it now. Now we want to look at fill. How can we fill? For instance, let's say I want to put a new figure here. I want to have a new figure. I want to have a new column. Then I want to number the column. So how do we go about that? So what we are going to do is to add a new column. To add a new column, just click insert, and then I have a new column. So I can just put SN, serial number. I can just put serial number. So now we want to number from 1 to the end. So now let's first check the number first. So your control, then your downward arrow. No, sorry. The number we have here. So we have 1001. So let's use a grid here as well. So we can just put a border grid here, and we can now, so don't forget, if I want to put this particular background color, we need to go and search for it and just put it there. But we don't need that. We just want to look at fill. So I want to fill now. So instead of saying that 1 and then 2 to 1001, you'll be tired, right? So you want to do that. So we can just use Excel. We can just use our fill under editing group for this particular task. So what we'll just do is to select this particular cell. Then you come to your fill, you click this particular drop down, then you click series. So we have our 1, and you click your column. We have 1 to 1 0 1. Press your OK. So now we now have 1001. So if we check, okay, it's 1000. So I will just delete here, and we are good to go. So I can just remove this border, this grid border, no border, right? So put my border again, then we are saved now, then we are good to go. So we've been able to achieve this as well. So we'll go back to the Excel tutorial sheet, then we mark it as done. So we'll move to 8, how to screenshot your current screen. So to screenshot your current sheet, what you just need to do is to use your shift plus window and then S. It will screenshot. Very simple. So for instance, let's say I want to screenshot my sheet. I will just press my shift window, then S. Then I will now press, then I will just, yes, I will just release it. No, I will select what I want to screenshot. Let's say I want to screenshot this particular table. I will just do it this way, right? It's already done. I will just release my hand, right? So that's how to, then you will now save. So that is how to screenshots. Okay, so you will use your shift window and S, then you will now use that plus sign to select the particular table you want to screenshot. And once you have done that, automatically it will screenshot and you will see your what you have just done. It's very simple. So now we have successfully done this as well, so we'll mark it as done. We'll mark it as done. So we are almost through how to use text box. So let's see how we can use text box. Now this is my text box. Now I have my text box. If you find my video useful, subscribe. So now let's say I want to write this inside. I want to use text box to write this. So it's very simple. What I will just need to do is to locate my text box. So now, so you will see text box under your insert tab. So this is my text box. So you will just click text box and then you will do it this way, just like the way you did the screenshot. You will release your hand and then you will type. If you find my video useful, subscribe. Right? So since I'm done, so this is how to use your text box. You can also reduce it. Don't forget, you can also do a lot of things. You can change the text to blue, red. You can change the background depending on what you just want to do. You can format it. You can change it to red. Just play around the font group, right? So now we can, since we've successfully done this, we move back to the Excel tutorial. Then we click done. That's number 9. Click done. 3 to go. Now, understanding the formula auditing group. Focus, show formulas. So let's look at formulas auditing group. Now let's go to the sheet. This is my formulas. Now I have 2 tables here, the same table. Now we want to use if function to return the student grade. If the score is greater than 49, pass. Not greater than 49, not greater than 49, fail. So when I use formula here, then we can check the formula. That is, we can check what happened after executing the formula. What actually happened behind the scene, we can check. So this is it, equals to if my logical test, if this cell is greater than 49, comma, pass, then I'll put my pass, comma, value false, fail. I'll put fail, close my bracket, then hit my enter. So we have pass, so then we have fail, we have pass, pass, fail, pass, and fail. So now let's try to look at the formula. So we can go to formulas and then show formulas. So here you can see what happened here. So we can now see what actually happened here. If C3 is greater than 49, pass, fail. If cell C4 is greater than 49, pass, then return pass and fail for below 50. Then C5, 49, pass, fail, pass, fail. So what we did here, the formula we used, this is actually what happened. This was what happened behind the scene. So we can actually check and just see it. Now, to go back, you just click show formulas again. It will take you back. Now, let's say that you want to execute another if function and you made a mistake. Instead of result, instead you are seeing error. We can also check our formulas as well to know what is really happened, what is causing the error, so that we can fix the error. So now let me try to do something here. I will write the same formula here is equal to if this cell is greater than what? Greater than 49. If this cell is greater than 49, pass, comma, otherwise fail. So put my, close my bracket, then hit my enter, pass. Right? Is this correct? Yes, it is actually greater than 49. So that will be pass. Now we have fail, pass, pass, fail, pass, and fail. So we have the same result, right? Which means that we can also check and still see the same thing we saw the other time. But there is something I actually want to communicate, and this is what I want to try to do. That will be equals to if this cell is greater than 49, comma, then this will be pass, and then this will be fail. Close my bracket and hit my enter. The same pass, right? So now what do you see here? Pass, 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 pass. Now if you cross-check it with this one we did and the second one we did on this particular table before using this, if we cross-check all of them together, are we having the same result? No. Look at here, this one is correct, but here we have pass, 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 pass. You know, this chaos. This chaos, right? So which means that we have an error with our formula. Now can we check what really happened, what has happened behind the scene? Yes, in order to know how to fix the error. So I can go back to my show formulas and click and then see what really happened. Now if you look at it here, is equal to cell 14 greater than H13. Yes, correct. Now cell 15 greater than H14. Not correct, because this is H13. They should maintain the H13 because this cell is 13, so you should maintain the H13. Instead we are seeing H14, then it jumped to H15, it jumped to H16, it jumped to H17. So using my show formulas, now I can now see that, oh, I have made a mistake. I didn't input the formula well. There is something I need to do. that I did not remember to do, because I've been able to see the show formulas. I've been able to check it through, I've been able to check it through show formulas. Then through the show formulas, I've been able to see where the error came from. So I can just click again and now redo it again. So I will delete again, then I will now do it again. That will now be equals to, if this cell is greater than what, 49. Now since I'm referencing this particular cell, then I must need to log this particular cell. I must need to log this particular cell. So which means that if I want to log this particular cell, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to lock it using my F4. So once I use my F4, then once I use my F4, I close the bracket. Then once I use my F4, I input the pass and then the fail. Then I close my bracket. Then I hit my enter. Then I'll be able to get the right result, right? So that is how you can achieve that. So you can check my videos on logical tests, some if, can't ifs. I've done videos on locking of cells, so you can just watch it and just apply it. It's going to work, right? So the reason why I don't want to execute it, because if I execute it, the recording will stop. So, and I don't want it to stop because we still have 2 to go. So the hotkey will stop. So, but you can just, but that's what it's going to give when you lock it. If you don't have F4, use your Fn, then your F4, Fn and F4. It will work. So you just lock and put your result, pass and fail. It will automatically give you the result. But the point here is just for us to see that when we are having error, we can just come to the show formulas and see where we are missing it, and then come back again to fix it. I hope you got that. Thank you. So now we can go back to our Excel tutorial and just press done. Then 11, now Zoom group. So now let's quickly look at Zoom group. So for Zoom group, you will see Zoom group under your view, under your view tab. So let's say that you want to zoom your table. Let's say you want to zoom your table. Is it possible? Yes, you can eventually zoom your table. If I click this table like this and I zoom and I click zoom, it will zoom. No, let's put it this way. Let me try to select zoom by selection, right? So now we can eventually zoom it to 252%, right? To go back to 100%, you just click your 100%, then it will go back. So it means that you can select a particular column like this, and then you just click your zoom by selection. So this 100% just means that you want it to be normal, the standard, the 100%. So just when you use zoom by selection, when you zoom, then you can, to have the standard, to have it 100%, you just click back this particular standard, this 100%, then it will go back. And then you can also control it here where you are seeing the percentage. It can also be controlled here, and you can also okay, let me go back to the 100%. There's something I want to say here, but I think it is not necessary, because I'm saying it because I believe that the 100% is the normal standard in Excel based on my understanding. So I think the 100% is okay. But if you feel like zooming it to 252, 500, then you can come here and drag it to the whatever number whatever percentage you want. You can come here and then you can drag it. So I'm done with that. So we go back to the Excel tutorial sheet, then we just click 11, done. So the last one will be the window group. So under the window group, this is our window group. You also see it under the view tab. You also see it under the view tab. So now for the window view, for this, what we want to do is we want to look at the freeze panes. So we want to look at the freeze panes. So look at it, how to use freeze panes, top row and the column. So let's say that I want to freeze my row 1 such that when I'm inputting my data set, I will still continue to have access to my column header. Then the solution is to freeze my row 1. So I can do this by highlighting, then click the freeze pane drop down and freeze top panes. So if you look at my screen, what do you notice here? It's like this place is distinct, a bit bold and distinct, the line thick, right? So it means that if I'm inputting any data set, I will continue to see my column header, and I will not make my column header. Then I will not make any mistake, and then I will continue to see my column header, and I also continue to see the row 1. So which means that if you are inputting data set, you will see that as it's going, you will continue to see that it will not affect our row 1 at all. It will not affect. So now if I want to remove it, I can just go back to my freeze page and click on freeze page. Then I will have it like this again. So if you want to freeze the column, same thing applicable to the column. You click your column, then you go to your freeze page, then freeze first column. So when I freeze first column, then I can begin to input my data. Then I will still be having access to my name. The first column, I'll be having access to. Can you see that we are not losing the name? I'll be having access to the name. Right? So that is that. So you can also unfreeze your column. Just click your unfreeze page. So that is how to use freeze page. So I believe you've learned something today. Yeah, so make sure you like, subscribe, share, and stay tuned for more videos. Thank you for watching. Bye.